everybody, it's Biohazard Candy Kid here. For those of you who just subscribed to my channel by listening to Marfoogle last night on one of his live shows, yes, this is me. For those of you who have seen my other videos and found me through my other videos, hello once again. So I don't want to call this a follow update video, but basically I'll just call it, I don't know, a new video. Of course, because it's new. So, let's see. Today's date is Wednesday, July 10th, 2019, 2 o'clock p.m. Wow, right on the dot at 2. 2.00. I would like to basically continue on from what I was talking about with Marf yesterday, aka Adam. For those of you who don't know. I know it was my first time calling. I wasn't really prepared, but harmonic frequencies is one of the things I wanted to mention. Now, I know Marv had said that I got a little sidetracked yesterday, which, I did. I actually listened to it. I played it back to myself, and I kind of, thought, I'm getting a little sidetracked. But it was also because I was almost getting ready to go to bed, and it was late at night where I live, and I just decided, let me try to call again, because I had called once a long time ago, like, I don't know, a couple months ago, but no worries, I didn't get any answer and stuff. But I said, I'll call maybe when he's not so busy, when he's got a live show that's not so busy, not too many people are calling. So I decided to call last night and talk about, what I did talk about. Now, even though I got sidetracked, I'll make a point here on the whole logistic things. I'll start from A to Z to 1 to 3, okay? And stuff like that. Now, if you see me, you see the video, the cars going by and stuff. I'm actually at work right now outside, and stuff like that. So don't worry about it if you just see me or if you see the video going back and forth. So basically, I talked about the harmonic frequencies. Now, 432 Hertz has actually been the harmonic frequency of planet Earth and the space that planet Earth is in, and everything runs on 432 Hertz frequency of sound. That is the natural balance of order from sound, at least, okay, which sound is a type of energy just like electricity. And what us humans have done is we have taken the 432 Hertz, okay, HZ, for those of you who know it in musical terms. Basically, we have taken it somewhere around the 1920s, 1930s, and we have tweaked it to 440 Hertz, which gave the world a natural imbalance in sound, okay? Now, I know this is kind of a recap of, yesterday from Marfoogle TV or Marv's channel, Adam's channel, but I'm going to go more in depth since I didn't have enough time yesterday. And I just want to mention, I would like to be on his show again, but as like a long guest, like someone who talks for 30 minutes about certain things, because I have a lot to share that, I think it's time for me to open up and stuff and share a lot of things that are true. They're not fake. They're not conspiracy theories. These are true things, okay? Facts, and you can go find them anywhere, okay? So basically, we turned the sound, the frequency, into 440 Hertz. Now, why do I say 1920s, 1930s? Well, there's a lot of you that are going to say more like the 1950s. As a matter of fact, I say the 1920s and the 1930s because programs were started in those eras, in those years, by the Germans. The Nazis, even when they were just a small Nazi party in the 1920s and 30s, they were actually experimenting with different frequencies. Now, if you go look up on YouTube, you can actually find music in 432 Hertz and instruments that have been tuned to 432 hertz. Take, for instance, very simple instruments or like the guitar, acoustic guitar, and a regular piano, like a grand piano, nothing electronic. And if you listen to one in 440 hertz and one in 432 hertz, you will actually hear the differences in both of them. And your body will even start to react to the differences. One actually will make your mood much higher. You will actually feel an energy that you have never felt before, and that is the one at 432 hertz. The one at 440 hertz, you will just be the same as what you are now. You will be in this state that you are in now. And I will talk about both states in a minute going forward. And so you can look at videos and listen to this music. Now, there's a lot of people who talk about your chakras. There's a lot of people that talk about, this music, that music, this hurt, that hurt. But as a matter of fact, 432 hertz is the only hertz we should be listening to. When you listen to an animal out in the wilderness, the animal is not tweaked, by the way. The animal's voice is actually at 432 hertz. The singing of a bird, the growling of a lion, the meow of a cat, the calling of a whale in the ocean, that is all 432 hertz. But because humans have created things in this planet, man-made things, that are at 440 hertz, actually it's even damaging the animals. And as a matter of fact, we are even damaging animals by all the technology we are putting into animals, like the microchips that are in animals, so you can find your cat or dog or whale or bird or giraffe, whatever animal you have as a pet. All of the tranquilizer darts we are giving the animals, all the stuff we're doing to animals is basically to tweak animals. But the ones that have not been tweaked, those are the natural beings of this planet. And those are the ones that have the natural harmonic tones, or tone I should say, 432 hertz. Now, the human voice naturally is 432 hertz. But what humans have done is they have tweaked their voices through electronic instruments, through man-made electronics. So that way it sounds, so that way the hertz that comes out, the harmonic tone that comes out is 440 hertz. Why have we done this? Because basically we don't even want humans to be listening to the natural sound. Like, I could give this as an example. Hey, Mr. Roboto, domo arigato, or I think I said it wrong. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Well, what does that sound like? It sounds like a robot voice. But it's a human that recorded his voice and then used an instrument that is in 440 hertz and tweaked it. So you're not even hearing his natural voice. Now, I like opera music simply because they use their natural voice. But the old opera music, the one that has not been tweaked, which would be 1800s to about 1920s, 1930s. Now, I know I said that it was around 1920s and 1930s that they changed the harmonic tones, but not the whole entire world. It was basically the Nazis, a couple European factions in Europe who were experimenting with this. And I would say by the 1940s, they already had adopted some technologies to change everything to 440 hertz, and the music was changed in Europe. It wasn't really changed it hadn't changed in America until the 1950s. That's when America also brought in a lot of these German scientists, British scientists, Russian scientists, even though we were enemies with Russia after World War II. They basically brought all these scientists over to basically covertly start these programs here in the United States and have all of our stuff be at 440 hertz. It was the politicians, it was the power-hungry elites at the top, the secret demons, well, they're not secret, but the demons that run around this planet. And I'm not talking about the ones like heaven or hell, angels and demons. I'm talking about real-life demons. and stuff like that. Not the little pitchfork horn guys that you see in cartoons or that you see depicted in, you know, Sistine Chapels. Some of them are real demons. They are alive, they are human. They basically are the ones, you know, them and the other people are the ones that brought it to America. In America, in the 1930s, in the 1920s, if you got a, how should I say this? If you get an old vinyl record from the 1920s and you play it on an old Victrola, okay? You have to play it on an old record and plug it into the wall, an old record player from the 1920s. You will hear that the sound is totally different. It's at 432 hertz. If you play that same record on a new record player, or if you hear it on YouTube, your device that you're using, meaning your headphones, your cell phone, YouTube, you know, the music player, it's all tweaked to 440 hertz. So that means the music coming out is going to play at 440 hertz. So like I said, if you find on YouTube all of these instruments that are tuned to, you know, 432 hertz because people tune them back to the original state, yes, you will hear that's 432 hertz, but it'll project itself out as 440 hertz because of your earbuds that you're using, because of your car that has speakers, because of your computer speakers. They're all tuned to 440 hertz. So really, it's very difficult to actually hear 432 hertz in that sense. It's not very difficult to hear it if you go in the middle of a forest, let's say in the Midwest, upper Midwest of the United States where there's redwood forest. It's not difficult to hear, you know, 432 hertz out there because you're out in the wilderness and there's just the birds, the bees, and the trees, and when you hear a bird chirping out there, that's 432 hertz right there. And that's actually cleaning your brain. It's actually cleaning your body and stuff like that of all of the noise pollution. Now, I'm an AC/DC fan, and I do know that there is a song, okay, called Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. Now, I like that song, don't get me wrong, but I'm sorry, but all modern music is noise pollution because it's 440 hertz. If all modern music was made in 432 hertz, it would not be noise pollution, and it would sound different. Now, why did they change everything to 440 hertz? I know a lot of you are going to be asking this question in the comments below. Well, the reason why they changed things to 440 hertz is because they found that people naturally, at the natural state of 440 hertz, or from the natural state of 440 hertz, they would be asleep and they would be controlled. Essentially, think of it as, I know a lot of you know about this, but think of it as, you see that picture of the two kids in front of the television, and the television just has the black and white spiral that just keeps going and going and going. It's the same thing. They can control you with music. You know, it doesn't matter what type of music it is. Now, I know that there are a lot of you who know that classical music is actually good for the brain. Baroque music, classical music, even the Gregorian chants of the 1200s, the 1100s, the 1000s, you know, the 1000s, you know, even before then in the Roman times, or the old tribal chants of like the cavemen where they used to sit around a campfire and just, you know, beat the drum and that's all they had. I know a lot of you will say, well, that's good for the brain. That's very good and healthy for the mind, body, and soul. Well, I'm here to tell you that even that music, which basically has, how should I say it? That music that has continued on into the digital age where they have, you know, basically have all these recordings of all those, you know, old songs and stuff, but by new artists and shit, or by, you know, famous classical pianists of, you know, the modern times, basically, who play Beethoven, who play Chopin, who play all those guys. That music has been tweaked to 440 hertz, by the way, because they put it on the new vinyls, they put it on the new CDs. It comes out in digital form as an MP3 or an MP4 or a MIDI file, whatever you may have it. And so it's basically coming out at the hertz that all these new formats are at, okay? So basically, it's not doing anything to your mind, body, and soul. Basically, in order for that music to work, you have to go get an instrument that was made basically in the 1800s or back, which, you know, is very hard to get, or you have to get a new instrument, whether it be a violin, an acoustic guitar, or a piano, let's say like a Steinway piano, and you have to tune it to 432 hertz and play those songs, or get a flute, or get something. And that's the only way that will work. Now, I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but that's an actual fact, and that's the truth. You can look it up on the internet. I'm not telling you to believe the internet 100%, but I know that it's a fact, and the people that have done the research have done research for years and years, and I'm talking 30 years of research, 40 years, and they know it's a fact. And also the ancients know it's a fact. If you go look at some of their text, you know, if you find some of their texts that haven't been destroyed by the power elites, they even know that it's a fact, because they're the ones, you know, who taught their fellow humans, hey, this is the natural harmonic frequency of the planet. You know, and they felt it, and they knew it, and they had a higher connection with this frequency. But now that humans have basically turned that frequency upside down, they turned it from 432 to 440 hertz, basically they have destroyed the planet. And it only took 100 years. But it took 100 years only simply because the technology that we had made it easy for us real quick. You know, because we had man-made technologies that could, you know, could help us do it quicker, and stuff like that. You know, if this was the year 1430, it would be very hard for someone to do that, because they don't have the electronics, they don't have the you know, because they were still with sticks and stones, you know, break my bones type of deal. They weren't with, you know, guns and ammunition and a computer, you know, type of deal. You know, shit, arrows and swords is what they had. You know, the only type of technology that was, you know, advanced technology back then was just basically, you know, maybe, I don't know, some of their water mills that, you know, had all these, you know, turning things where the water would go through and turn things and, you know, help them plant or do farming. You know, that was probably the most, you know, way out there thing and shit like that. But other than that, yeah, they couldn't do it back then. So when 1890s, you know, and on rolled around, people started experimenting with things, with all this new technology, and they found that you could tweak various things. Now, I know I said in the show some things after this that Marv was saying, oh, well, you know, these are not, well, he didn't say these are not, but he was like, oh, well, now we're going into a different direction, you know, we're kind of getting off track. Well, when I said that these politicians and all this and all these people running for office anywhere in the planet, but I basically mentioned the United States because I live here. When I was mentioning all that, what I was talking about was basically humans have been more destructive. Humans have been doing things that are not of human nature. They aren't. I'll give you an example, okay? And I don't give a shit what people say and what you are and who you are. She-males. She-males are unhuman. Since when did we have she-males in the, I would say, year 1100? Okay? And I'm not going to say BC or AD or whatever, or CC or Chi-Chi. No. Because personally, I don't believe in, you know, religion. You know, and that's another topic for another deal. But in the year 1100, did we have she-males? No. We might have had humans that were born with defects. You know, maybe there was a male that was born maybe as a male, but maybe it had some woman's body parts because maybe, you know, it was having a sister that was trying to come out and it just didn't fully develop and shit like that. You know, because there are things that do happen naturally that we cannot control. But all of this, like, oh, I'm going to get my penis fixed into a pussy, and I'm going to become a she-male or a he-she and all that, that's unhuman. That is the same thing that we have done with the basically harmonic frequency. We are doing the same thing to our body, but we are doing that because the harmonic frequency has been changed. If everybody on this planet went back to 432 hertz, you would see that we wouldn't be doing all the crazy things we do today. Of course, we've always had wars. We've always done, evil things. But see, back then, when we did war, it was because we were just conquering lands. The planet hadn't been conquered yet. And we were just trying to develop and grow as nations or as empires. Now that this planet has been basically conquered, and I'm not talking about Antarctica or the North Pole, because really no one can live there. All we can do is just do, tiny little ship explorations, and send a little buggy out there with 2 men in some, big, thick wool jackets just to, do some exploration. I'm not talking about, because global warming and the ice caps are melting. No, that's fake, bogus shit. Okay? Yeah, don't believe Al Gore. And don't believe all these people who talk about that shit. That's fake. Just take it as Comedy Central. And so basically, we've already inhabited this whole planet. What else do we need to inhabit? I know Africa has a lot of land that it doesn't have, but basically the countries have been established. All they need to do is just build more cities, and end of story. Build more roads, populate more, end of story. But we don't need to conquer more lands. We don't need all this. A lot of you may know that there was the Pax Roman, the Pax Romana. Basically, it was when the Romans didn't have war for 200 years. And that's what we're supposed to be at. We're supposed to be where we don't have wars, we don't have any more evil, everything is eradicated. I'm not saying one world order system, everything's perfect. No, I'm saying that all of this unnatural stuff that we are doing as a result of the 440 hertz, and we need to go back to the 432 hertz, which sends us in the right direction and has us stop doing all this stuff we are doing now, which has recently popped up since the 1800s, the late 1800s. Because you look at, Karl Marx, you look at, Zionism, you look at the Civil War, you look at the central bank system, the Federal Reserve, you look at the Illuminati, I know it started in the 1700s, a lot of it, but I would say more than a lot of it has started in the 1800s, and it continued on well up until 2020, because 2020 is almost upon us. It's next year. So a lot of these people who are crazy madmen, crazy mad women, they are basically doing these things because of the harmonic imbalance. Now, I know there are a lot of you who will say it's conspiracy theory. I know there's a lot of you who will say it's fake, and that is not true, and that you should not believe someone on the internet, and you should believe someone who is on TV or on the radio, or believe what you read in books. Or believe your aunt and uncle who are 80 years old and they've lived longer than someone who's 29 years old. I know that there are those of you who will call me names. There are those of you who will say nasty things about me. There are those of you who will try to do things to me, meaning not physically, because you can't jump through the screen and grab me by my neck, but I'm saying you will try to do things to me physically, meaning that you will try to take steps to get YouTube to destroy me because I'm talking about this stuff, which is, the truth. I know that a lot of you will say that's just your opinion, that's not a fact, just like everything's an opinion. Okay, well, then you know what? Guess what? I'm already prepared for that, because here's my response. Here is what I'm going to tell you. If you're going to say all that stuff, okay, then let's say this, okay? Okay, just to make it fair. There is a vehicle made by Honda called the Honda Civic. Is that not true? What are you going to say about that? That's in my video. I just put it there. The Honda Civic is not true, right? It's not a real vehicle. It's a conspiracy theory. Is that not true? And for those of you who drive a Honda Civic, okay, no matter what year, you drive a Honda Civic, what you're going to say that kind of stuff about this video, well, then your Honda Civic is fake. It's not real. You should just, I want everyone just to listen to the TV, the mainstream media, the radio. Don't listen to the internet. I'm saying a Honda Civic is it's real. It's fake. I'm saying a Honda Civic is real. Honda makes a Civic. But don't listen because it's fake, because it's on the internet. Listen to the radio or read a book, or listen to your uncle who's 92 years old who knows better, than a 20 or 29-year-old. No. It's just my opinion that Honda makes a Civic. It's my total opinion. It's not a fact. Am I right? Exactly. So if you're going to say anything about my video, just be forewarned. I already got you. Because this is true and this is real stuff. Now, whether you want to believe it or not is a different story. But don't say it's fake. Don't say that this is a basically attempt just to control people and just to send them in a different direction or an agenda. No, it isn't. That's not what this is. No. I'm just stating true, natural facts made by nature. Because you want to know how I can prove this and how you can prove this on your own? Go into the wilderness and listen to nature itself. And then I want you to listen to music, listen to TV, listen to what you hear over the phone when someone talks to you. And tell me if you do not hear a difference in the harmonic frequency. If you're deaf, okay, I'm sorry, I understand, you're deaf, okay? I'm excluding you. I'm not including you. You guys are out of the picture. I have a disability too, okay? So I understand people with disabilities such as that one too. I'm not deaf, but I just want to let you know that I understand, okay? But for those of you who are normal, natural human beings with no disabilities, who say these outlandish things just because you just want to be contrary, just because you don't like someone else's truth, I want you to go out in nature and then come back into a city and listen to all of the things we have created and tell me that you don't hear a harmonic imbalance. Tell me that you don't know or notice that, hey, that does sound like 432 hertz. This does sound like 440 hertz. Tell me. I want you to tell me. Go out in nature and test for yourself. That's how you can prove that it's the truth. You don't have to look it up on the internet. You don't have to listen to a radio show. You don't have to basically, go talk to a grandpa who's wiser and shit. You could do this test yourself. You can basically prove me right. But if you're going to continue on and prove me wrong, then that's your fault. You're the one who's suffering, not me. Because, shit, I know I'm right. And nature knows it's right. And right knows it's right. It's just right because it is. Because that's just how it is. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't, as Christians would say, as people in this man-made religion would say, you can't play God. I'm sorry, but you can't tweak the way things are. If you don't like it, none you can do about it. But you know what I say? If you don't like it, then go kill yourself. Because I don't want you here because you're being negative. And negativity is a result of the 440 hertz. And sorry, I don't want your vibes. Nope. And if you get mad because I don't want you, well then, change. Become positive. Take this truth and spread it around the world. Please. Excuse my French. But either fuck off or help me. Because I don't want your negativity. I want your positivity. That's the kind of person I am. Marv said it yesterday. He likes my vibe. He thinks it's positive. At the end, I know he said, well, that was something. But that's okay. Because I understand Marv. And he understands me. I said people like him and me are trying to wake people up. He's part of this awakening. I want people to subscribe to his channel. Support his channel. I've been listening to Marv for a very long time. I actually started listening to him before I subscribed to him. And then I became a subscriber because As I listened to him more and more, I said, this guy is totally in line with me. I had to listen to a couple videos first, to see who Marf was, to get an understanding of him, to see where his channel was headed, to make sure it wasn't one of these just make money channels and bogus channels. I give credit to Marf and what he's doing. I'm glad that he had me on the show last night, and I really would like to return as a good guest. Now, his moderator told me that there's things you shouldn't say on his channel and stuff like that. Now, I will say something. I'm fine if he wants to keep the channel positive. I'm totally A-okay with that. Now, this but is not a negative but. If you come on my channel and say things, I don't care what you say. I don't care if YouTube flags me. I don't give a shit. You know why? Because I'm a man. I'm not a woman. I'm a man, and a man doesn't give a shit. A man defies authority. A man is someone who stands up to authority and says, you know what? You don't own me. So you're not going to do anything about me. But I'm going to do something about you, and I'm going to tear you apart. I'm going to rip you by your testicles. So if you want to say a country's name, Iraq, Iran, be my guest. Put it in the comments. If you guys want to send me a response video, go ahead. Say whatever you want. Awesome. I mean, just as long as it's not evil or dark. Because, hey, I don't need that shit. Okay? That's not healthy for all humans. But to be honest, hey, maybe one of these days I'll do a calling show. And I'll let people call me. And maybe, I'll do a live thing. I don't know. Once I get a better computer, and a setup. But, stuff like that. I'll let you say whatever. And YouTube ain't going to flag me for shit. No, they're not. Not really. Because they don't own me. I own Google, actually, by the way. Yeah. I have more power than Google does. Because Google is just a name. Google is just made up by humans. And I'm a human too. And guess what? I made Google also. Yup. I may not be the founder and owner, but I'm a human. I live on this planet. So Google obeys by me also. Just like it obeys by every other human on this planet. So, Google can be torn apart tomorrow by every human. And the people at Google know that. Oh, they know that. They're well aware of that. They just better not think that we're not going to do it, because we will, and it's coming. And humans are talking about it. Full steam ahead on that one. But Marf, I just want to say that he's doing a great job. I'm glad he has the moderator he has. I like his moderator. I like Marf. I like the whole Marf family. I think they are great people. And I seriously hope that his show continues. I hope that he never goes off YouTube. But I hope that he gets on other platforms, so that way if YouTube gets really squabbly and does shit to him, at least he's on other platforms. And, if he has a website, hey, go to his website, check it out. Check out my channel also. Now, I know I've been supporting Marf and stuff, and that I really didn't, say support my channel and that. But, I was on his show last night, and I want to give thanks to him, okay? And I want to give thanks to the kind words he said to me yesterday, okay? So, I want to put him out first, because I'm not selfish. It's not all about me. I'm not Jesus Christ, and nor is Marf, but it's not about me first. I know that in nature, you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of other people. And I get that, okay? And that's what I do. I take care of myself, so that way I'm able to take care of other people. But because Marf was so kind, I want to give respect to him a lot, okay? But please support my channel also, and stuff like that. Like my videos, subscribe. There are more videos to come. I know I don't do that many videos, and I'm going to tell you the reason. Well, first of all, my parents, they don't want me in any social media. And I don't like social media in any event. I grew up myself as a person who didn't like social media. I don't like email and stuff like that. But I got on YouTube because I wanted to share my music and share my passion of making Candy Kid bracelets with the world, because I'm a raver. And I make music at home. I make wholesome music and stuff like that for people to listen to. And I want to become an artist, you know, stuff like that. I don't want to get into the music industry. I just want to become, you know, just my own artist, make my cash and get the hell out of there and just live my life, you know, and stuff like that. And I want to give, you know, positive music to the world. I want to make positive music for the world. So I got on YouTube and I thought, you know, hey, I think this would be a great way to show people some of my skills. But my parents didn't want me on, you know, the internet, except for an email account, simply because of privacy issues and stuff like that, which I totally understand. I love privacy. I don't want the government knowing about me, all this shit. Even though today it's pretty hard because we all have cell phones, we all have computers, TVs, whatever. Even your cars nowadays, even your bicycle, you know, nowadays is electronic and it's connected some way or another. But I got on YouTube and I said, it's still the YouTube I remember back in 2006, you know, and stuff like that. But, you know, Google changed it. They put their own things in there, stuff like that. I'm a little more cautious. And, you know, I put out a few videos once in a while. So that's why I tried to put out videos once in a while. My parents don't know I have this channel. I mean, my dad actually tried to start a channel for me on something else, because it had all this encryption and all that shit, but I just really said no. It was for music and stuff, but I said no because they really went down the shits and their encryption shit is just shit, stuff like that, and they really don't care about your privacy, and they're in bed with someone else because they've been bought by someone else, so it's not the original site I used to remember, which was like one of the best because they were really secret. They really cared about privacy, but now they're just shit. So, you know, stuff like that. I kept this YouTube channel. So I'll come out with more things, more songs, more videos. For those of you who watch Marv, you can, he put my channel link up there if you see that video that he posted last night, basically on July 9th and stuff like that. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch up on a few things from last night's video. So please like and subscribe to this channel, like this video, and, you know, I hope to see you in the next video. I'm going to make one here after this one shortly, maybe, about another topic, and stuff like that. So I hope everyone's having a great day or a great night, depending where you are on this planet, and I bless all of you. I bless Marv. Yeah, thanks. And oh yeah, and those of you who added my channel, you know, subscribed to it in the last 2 days and wrote me some you know, comments, I really appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I support you guys a lot. Keep doing what you're doing. You guys are doing a great job. Okay? All right. I want everyone to take care. Stay sane out there. Stay vigilant. Let's fight the powers that be. And let's continue on the path of peace and harmony. This is Biohazard Candy Kid signing out. Peace.